In this tutorial, we will be finish up this toe here, and then have this toe here will continue to expand up through the tongue, as you can see right there. First thing you want to do is we want to just copy the toe we have already created. But I guess before we even do that, I do want to put a little bit of a shell modifier here to kind of thicken it up. As you see here, there's kind of a lip. So this is like the outer part, and inside's another layer underneath it. So what we're going to do first is select our toe and go to shell for the modifier. We actually want to add a little bit of we don't want the inner, or we don't want the outer mount. So if you see here, here's how it typically would look with the outer. I want that to be 0. We want to add a little bit of inner, just get kind of that lip, as you see right there, that's kind of expanding. And we want something maybe like a 0.1. So something small, nothing too large. Okay. So now we can convert this to L poly. What we want to do next is we want to delete the inside of this. So I'm going to first hide my reference. Then we want to delete all the inside. So a little trick, if you're to go to your, let's say if you want to drag and do this, you'll be deleting everything. So if you see under your polygon selection, you hit ignore back faces. Now you can drag, and anything that's not actually seen by your view will not be selected. So as you can see there, this makes it a lot faster. Just be able to hold control and just drag over the shapes or the polygons you want deleted. As long as you don't see as long as you can't actually touch the polygon or see it from your view, it will not be selected. Or I should say the front of the polygon. Okay, so just delete those real fast. There may be a more efficient way at this time, but I just want to keep it nice and simple. Okay, so now what we have is this shell for the toe, as you can see here. Okay, so now we want to create the fabric, and we want to kind of go right along the inside of this toe. So before we do that, we want to duplicate the toe. So Control V, or you can clone it over here. But I like to just use my shortcuts, and they're a good habit to get into. So Control V. And make sure by default it's on instance, but you want to be on copy. We'll just call this, tongue. Okay. Now we want to create a loop. So let's select our tongue there. We want to create a edge loop right along the inside here. So you can, there's a few ways you can do it. You can use the Swift tool, the Swift loop, or you can select one edge, hold Shift, and select the next one, and then hit connect. So right click, make sure the connect is 1, right like that. Yep. So we will be extending all of our fabric from this middle loop. So next thing is select this inner portion, hold Shift, and we want to delete that. So now when we pull up our tongue, you'll see we're actually be pushing the fabric right in there, so it has this nice tight look. Okay, so back to our tongue. First thing we want to do is with our edge selection, we want to just select 2. We want to select the edge there and the edge here. And we are going to do a bridge. And let's move these up to about maybe 8. Should be good. But you just want something that's close to reflect right here. Okay. So now I'm going to select these 2, with my polygon selection, select those 2 middle ones. Try my soft selection, and I'm going to drop that down to maybe 5. Just pull this up. I might be able to grow that a little more. Pull it up some more. You gotta be careful because you don't want to grab too much of the you don't want to grab too much of the outer portion. So I'm saying it's kind of going to be roundish, and you may not even need soft selection for this. Just grab some edges, make it nice and round. Try to make it symmetrical if you could. So something like that. So now we have this kind of round shape right there, and that's going to be the start of our toe. So what we're going to do next is we want to, let's go ahead and select a handful of these polygons here. So perhaps something let's go ahead and just count up. So from this corner, 1, 2, we want to select 3 from that corner, and 1, 2, 3 from that corner. And make sure we are using the inner loop, so which I was not. So again, from this corner here, 1, 2, 3, so right there. And from this corner over here, 1, 2, 3. So it should be, oops. So I need, oh, there you go. And what I'll do now is I'm just gonna hold my shift and I'm gonna drag these out. And I'm going to start to kind of curve this toe a little bit, and you can hold shift, curve it, and I might want to flatten these polygons out just a hair. So pulled out with my scale tool, flatten them a little more, and now it seems like we are pretty good shape here. And so now we want to actually bridge this right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we can. So we actually have a few too many here, which is fine. We can make this work still. We'll start off by selecting these, and we're going to shift them over just a little bit. Want to line up fairly well with this. So we want to leave 2 on either side. And we're going to have to chamfer that to make a 5th. There you go. So now we have our 5. And now you can kind of move these around a little bit as you want. Okay, so we kind of want to match this shape and size a little bit. And we'll move these down a little bit to match that kind of shape we have going on. Okay. So I'm going to select these 5 here, and then we'll select the 5. So 1, 2 up, 1, 2 up. So I'll be selecting these 5 middle. Then I'm going to bridge these together. We just want just one bridge, and we'll drop that segment to 1. So there you go. So now we have our main shape for the toe. And from here, just kind of piecing things together. So I'm going to select that, use my bridge tool. It does not look like it's, oh, it's because I selected the wrong edge. So again, make sure you're careful selecting the correct edge, which I have not been very good about this far. I want that to be a bridge of 2 so I can match that there. I'm going to go to the other side, do the same thing. Selecting the correct edge, bridge that, looks good, right, cool. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, I know that these, I know that I will not be using those at all. So I can actually start to delete some of these extra polygons that are just kind of my way. Just like that. I hear my dog's about to start barking like crazy. Quinn, stop. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, now we want to connect this here. Which we can do the bridge. And I want to do this, I think maybe a bridge of 3 right here should be just fine. What we'll do now is go to our vertex and we'll target weld this like that. So now we can actually target weld these. Oops. So target weld right there. Okay, so now we have that shaped nicely. Now do the same thing over here. So we're going to select these 4 edges. We want to bridge them, and we want to do a segment of 3. So select that, go to your vertex selection and target weld like that, and we'll target weld. Oops. There you go. Right, just like that. So now our last piece right here, we need to make this work properly. So I think the best way to go about this one will be the target weld, go to your edges, and we're to weld or to bridge this together. And I think we can get away with just the 2 this time, and then again target weld. Oops. So make sure you go to your vertex selection, target weld this here, and then let's go ahead and turn off target weld. Remove this one with our, so under constraints you select edge, you can actually start moving this just along that edge there. So let's move along the edge, and we're gonna need one more. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and just bridge this here to 1, and then we'll make this a triangle. So with my border selection, I can now cap that. Okay, just like that there. So over here, same thing. We're going to use our bridge selection, bridge these. We want to bridge that at 2 segments. Vertex, target weld. You want to weld right along there. So now it's nice and smooth. Now turn off target weld. With your constraints edge on, you can move this along that constraint there. And then we are going to select these 2 edges, bridge them, make sure it's only 1 segment, and then with our border selection, pick this triangle and cap that. Okay. So now we have all that made up. We can go back through and we can select this little seam right there. So again, that is with you select 1, hold shift, and then you can delete it. And now we can use our object selection and just delete the rest of that toe. And one last thing we want to do, so we're going to weld these. So select your vertex, go to weld. Just want to make sure that anything that's really close is welded as we see it is. And then we want to select this whole entire edge. And we actually want to, holding shift, just expand out just a little bit. And that's actually not giving us quite the results we want. So, let's go ahead and use our move, and we'll move out just a little bit. Oh, I know why. It's because I have currently my constraints are to edge, so once it sets none. So now if we were to select all that and expand, we should get a little bit better result. There you go. So just a little bit so it digs in, and then we'll move that down just a hair. So now when you make the tongue, everything should tuck in there. You will find a few edges or a few portions do not tuck in real nicely, so that we can just move that down a little bit, and then we can go ahead and scale that back in just a hair to make sure that it touches all around. So what we're looking for is something to block right around there. You can see that is not quite what. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, we just move that down a little bit, and then again we'll scale back to center just a hair, so we can cover the rest of that. Just like that. And now when now later on when we come through, just smooth it out with our smoothing tools. It'll fit real nicely into the toe, just as you can see here. So now we have our kind of the toe made up, and now we'll continue this portion up to create the tongue. We'll do that. We'll do that right now. So I'm going to turn off this open sub div. Actually, I'm going to select all these and make sure they have the same smoothing group, so it's nice and smooth. Okay. What you can do here is we will turn on the toe, so that way you can get an idea of how it should look. So we're going to start off by selecting this edge here, and then just holding Shift, dragging in. And I'd say do about 2 times, so one more time here. Okay. So now we want to make sure that these polygons are not poking out through. As you can see, the shoe does turn right there. So we're going to take these, and we're going to move them inside the shoe. And same with these, we'll move those to inside the shoe, just like that. And so you shouldn't be able to see these vertex. Let's check on the other side. It looks like we're pretty. I might want to adjust that a little bit. Okay. So now we have the tongue tucked inside. And now I want to again select this whole entire edge, but I want to deselect a handful of these since actually I'll select these. Okay. Well, I don't need those after all. And just drag, holding Shift, drag this in and scale in just a hair, because this is where our tongue is going to start to take shape. Okay, and then if you're to go to your scale tool, you can actually get these a little more flat, or however you want. So now what I'm going to do is go to my my left profile, go to my side there, and I'm going to try just to create this shape. Now keep in mind, you know, a few things to keep in mind here is, one, the reference image is just so you can have an idea of how things should look from each angle, but also the tongue is tucked in here a little bit, so I will continue holding Shift. I'll grow this tongue how I believe it should be going. and it will also change. So if you want to look at the top view, so I might want to move this over a little bit, move this one over here. Not far to go to the top, and it might be a little high, so I have to move that down. Oops. Okay. So again, I'm going to select this. I'm going to continue to grow. Just holding shift. I'm going to continue to move my tongue for the shoe towards the top. I think maybe one more time should be a good start. Okay. So now from here we can kind of start to shape it. For example, I might want to make these corners a little more softer edge. I could chamfer them. Let's see there. I can move these vertexes up. Oops. Let's see, so I'm going to go to no constraints and go by local. I'll move them up that way a bit. Okay. And then also you can, if you wish, you can just kind of tweak them here. You know, I might want to bend these in a little more, just a little bit there. I might try to do that again here, or just kind of push those in just a hair to give that kind of this rounder look, which then I probably want to pull these out a little bit, just to give it that a little more of a the tongue a little more roundness to it. Okay, I'm gonna smooth these out, make sure they all have the same smoothing groups. And now when we were to, later on, when we comes to, you know, when we do our turbo smooth to it, it will have a much more smooth look. So, something else to keep in mind is that we will have laces going over this. So, you know, we're really going to be focusing on make sure the shape is right, something that can kind of guide where our laces go. And later on also we'll start to add some of the trim and the other detail to the tongue. Okay, so the next video we will start to work on this portion of the shoe, kind of the back of the shoe where it connects towards the back, and then we'll work our way forward and then start working on some details in the next couple of videos.